right over here is the hub I just purchased. This is an Alaudark hub. Alaudark? Hang on. Alaudark, desert lover of the high mountains. Actually, no, it's just desert lover of higher mountains. Anyways, this is something that's intrigued me for quite a bit. It's pretty new on the market. It's this internet brand that seems a bit sketchy. The website is absolutely full of typos, and it's $70 compared to this Chris King hub, which was originally $500. So it might be a downgrade. There's a good chance this will be a downgrade. But I'm pretty tired of my hub coming loose all the time, and I want to try something new. I normally never want my money to go towards Amazon companies, internet companies, or whatever, but I was too intrigued to try this, and I didn't quite have the budget to fork out $500 for Industry 9 or Onyx, which were kind of my first options. So curiosity got the better of me, and I tried out this hub. Let's talk about first impressions, because there are definitely some impressions to be had with this hub. First of all, I wanted to order the silver one, and then they sent me an email later that said they didn't have the silver one, so they gave me the option between red, purple, and rainbow. I went with red. I plan on custom polishing this myself. That's kind of besides the point. First of all, what you notice almost immediately is this thing has some pretty crazy engagement. Their website claims 114 points of engagement, which I actually believe it's really good, to be quite honest. And it's got a decent amount of drag in it, but with a dirt jumper, that really is not the biggest concern. I'd way rather have a hub that is just solid and never slips than a hub that has no drag. We can take a look inside here. Here's what the pawls look like if you're curious. It actually came greased and everything, which I'm pretty impressed with. I was going to fill it with Phil's Tenacious Oil or something along those lines, but looks like I don't have to. It's got this rubber seal here to keep water and debris out of there. Doesn't seem like the most secure system, but I don't know yet. It just kind of seals around the outside there. I guess we'll see how well that holds up. It's got one thing I'm really impressed with. It's pretty standard, I guess, on most hubs. Having teeth where the hub contacts the frame just so that it stays in place a bit better. That's a big deal when you don't have chain tensioners. These bolts doesn't really seem like anything too special about them, but I've taken it out. It's not super heavy. They don't have that much play in there, so it's a decent tolerance. And it's an 8mm bolt, which hopefully you'll be able to get enough torque on to make sure this hub is really set in there solid. Another impressive thing is seeing a machined face where the disc brake mounts. That's just a nice little touch to make sure stuff's going to be straight. And honestly, not something I'd expect from something this cheap. I want to have gripes, but honestly, I got nothing yet. I did notice there's not really a way to adjust preload. Unless I am completely missing something, I'm not seeing anything. You can take a look in here, and bearings in there, nothing too special. Website says 4 bearings in the hub, so I believe that's 2 in the driver and 2 in the body. So yeah, those are initial impressions of this hub. You can see it's just the basic 135 single speed hub. Nice short HG driver, it's got threads in there, everything you'd kind of expect to be able to use standard HG driver parts on. So the next step is going to be massacring this hub because I don't want red, I want silver. If you take a look over here, the red really, at least in my opinion, would not look good with my copper Skyhawk. So yeah, I would like to change the color of that myself, polish it just like I did with the King hub. As you can see, it's not the most beautiful finish, but it looks pretty good. It hasn't corroded or anything at all as far as I can tell. And my goal is to get it to match this factory polished profile front hub. One other thing I wanted to mention here was not about the hub itself, but more so about the company. When you go on the website, it is absolutely full of typos. I mean, the grammar in that website is very evidently translated from some foreign language. That's kind of your biggest red flag on the website. It really makes it seem like a scam. Obviously, it's not, because I ordered this straight from their website and I actually got it. The other thing, their website claims they're from Casper, Wyoming, I believe, and that's bullshit. They're not from Casper, Wyoming, not with all those typos. Just one other quick thing I noticed here. Maybe you could see this as a quality issue, maybe not, but there's a lot of play in there, and my guess as to the cause of that would be kind of imperfect machining and tolerances. This is a pretty nice surly cog. I've never had issues with this before, and my guess is maybe this HG driver is just a bit on the small side. My guess is if they're going to be machining stuff with less than perfect tolerances, they're making stuff on the small side just to be safe. In reality, it shouldn't be that big of an issue at all. As long as I can get something threaded on there, I think we'll be just fine, but just thought it was worth noting. The biggest thing everyone seems to want to know is how this thing sounds, so here we go. Get some riding clips in here in a minute, but I do want to briefly talk about my first impressions here. Everything seems really good riding it. The hub is solid. There's absolutely no side-to-side play. The cog went on fine. It was a little bit loose, but it seems all right now. Brake rotor fit fine. It's a perfect 135 width, so everything, from what I can tell, seems to be exactly what it needs to be. One thing I am worried about that I won't really know until I've ridden this for a while is how it's going to do without any sort of bearing preload adjustment. Most hubs will have some way to adjust the bearings once they wear in. This one doesn't, so I'm kind of worried it's going to end up with some slack in it that I can't do anything about. If that's the case, I'm going to be bummed, but I guess there's only one way to find out. I think it's time to get some riding clips now. I got the bike, wheel, hub's feeling good, and it's cold and windy, but we'll see what it can do. This bowl-to-bowl transfer over here from right there to that pocket, so I might as well try and get that. There we go. That's the short-term review of this hub. So far, I think it's really good. I see no issues with it. It does occasionally skip, but I've had that issue with loads of hubs, and it's not something that seems to cause much of an issue. The driver was a bit small, but again, not causing an issue. So short-term review, very good. This, yes, thumbs up. So this is just the short-term review. Things might change when we get to the long term. Again, I've mentioned this a couple times, it doesn't have any preload adjustment. Some of my worry is that as the bearings wear out, this hub is gonna develop a bit of play that you won't be able to adjust. If it comes to that, I'm gonna delve deeper into it and try and see what the issue is. Until then, it's really good. And I got nothing else. There you go.